Caption of this broadcast. Do us a favor or do me a favor. Read the description as well. Like it. Share it. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. So, brethren, we are starting tonight with the news from Ghana, who had their own presidential election and parliamentary election yesterday. And the result was out almost yesterday, but finally today, where the ruling party, the NPP, lost to the opposition party called the NDC. The story of Mahama in Ghana and that of Jonathan in Nigeria, they are similar. You know, these two men, they were presidents of Nigeria and Ghana, respectively, at the time when the change campaign was ravaging through these West African countries. In Nigeria, the APC, Egbe, they were telling the people of Nigeria then that Nigeria could be better. That in fact, corruption, malfeasance, profligacy, and name it, was killing Nigeria. And therefore, Nigeria was due for change. Similarly, in Ghana, the NPP, they were also campaigning for a change. If Nigeria could do it, Ghana could also do it. That was the campaign. So, Akufo-Addo became the presidential candidate of NPP, promising Ghanaians better economy, stable economy, improved infrastructure, improved currency, and then improved human rights protection. And similarly, before then, rather, Nigeria just screamed their own change through Bokwari, Atifku, Sarakonda, Tifnumbu, Keneri Dino, Kwakwansop. There are so many who rammed their campaign of change through the lives of the youngest Nigerians at the time, the young Nigerians, the youth. To them, PDP, the people destroying people, led by Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, was the most corrupt, the most inefficient, the laziest kind of government that ever existed in Nigeria, and the weakest as well. It was around the time that the Boko Haram was, destroying Nigeria to the level that we have actually never seen before. So, they promised Nigerians the strongest currency, the strongest economy. They will give them jobs. There will be safety and all that nonsense, Sha. 8 years after, Nigeria became worse off, more indebted, more people in poverty, more terrorized people. And similarly, in Ghana, their own economy also tanked. No thanks to Akufo-Addo. Around the time, the Ghanaians wanted what Nigerians just got, and it worked for him. Now, 7 years, nearly 8 years of Akufo-Addo, more Ghanaians are falling into poverty. Their economy is tanked. they are in more debt or indebtedness to the IMF, World Bank, and on like that. The looting of the Ghana treasury, like never seen before. In fact, in Ghana, it is generally believed that Akufo-Addo, this defeated the ruling party in Ghana today, has made the most useless people rich, just like Bokwari did in Nigeria. Ordinary recharge card seller in northern Nigeria became a multi-billionaire in looting Nigerian treasury. They emptied the Nigerian central bank, rendered Nigeria economy like in comatose. More people lost their jobs. More businesses left Nigeria. So 8 years after, the only difference here is Ghanaians were able to actually show the NPP of Akufo-Addo the door. In Nigeria, the APC, Egbekegbe, were able to slaughter democracy, slaughter what is called the elections, and extended the sufferings of these traumatized, terrorized, impoverished Nigerians further. So the man that came back is a man that was once demonized, John Mahama, the 66-year-old NDC, National Democratic Congress candidate of 2016. So he came back. He's been trying to come back though, right? But Ghanaians have now witnessed the worst of the worst kind of government ever. He was a former vice president himself, then the former president. While Mahamudu Bawumia is the current vice president. So in Ghana, it is generally believed that during their campaigns, right, the NPP, the ruling party, that has further destroyed and divided Ghana. In fact, they also played the divisive politics of a tribe, ethnic, and religion, just to see if they could extend the whatever suffering or hardship that the Ghanaians are facing today. The human rights record in Ghana is at the lowest as we speak. Ghana became a place that if they burn you well to protest, you are going to jail. Just like in Nigeria, right? If you go out there to complain about the government, you will be arrested, more or less like kidnapped, right? There are people in jail right now that the current government, have locked them up simply because they criticized the government or organized any protest against the bad leadership of Akufo-Addo and his party. So they wanted to play the game again, just like they are doing in Nigeria. The game of John Mahama is corrupt. John Mahama destroyed Ghana, right? That he should never come back and be the president again. So Ghanaians were now telling them, if John Mahama was going to destroy Ghana, he could have done it in his first term. And if what is his name again? Bawumia. If Bawumia was going to make Ghana better, he would have done it with Akufo-Addo in 8 years. So, brethren, the Ghanaians' presidential election has come and gone. There is no, they had their skirmishes. So, in fact, I think one person was killed. Okay, there was this, violence here and there, but wasn't that much. However, their election was conducted in a day, and the result was ready before last night. And by this morning, the vice president of Ghana, the defeated candidate, has already congratulated the winner. And guess what? Ghanaians have kind of gone back to their own, to their businesses, waiting for the inauguration day. not like that of Nigeria, that took Mumudu Yakubu 1 week, right, to count election result, election ballots, and then to announce the result at 4 a.m. in the morning. But you know the irony of it all. The man that APC demonized in Nigeria 9 years ago is now, is it ECOWAS or African Union election observer? Goodluck Ebere Jonathan. He was in Ghana. Also, the man that dashed your hope of chasing away APC Egbekegbe last year, Mumudu Yakubu, he was also in Ghana. Guess what the Olori Buku said? He said Ghana learned so much from Nigeria election that they used it in their own election. That has sort of irritated a lot of people. So the conversation right now is that what Nigeria missed, Ghana got it. So let's go to that Ghana where we have the event, how they played out a little bit, right? And then we'll continue in a jiffy. So share this if you are just joining us. Let's go to Ghana.
How are you? Your officials. Okay. How many stations are here?
I'm a brown pump of 5 representatives.
How are you? Okay, good.
Yeah, doing very well.
Okay.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh, you're media people?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay. How are you?
So much.
What is happening so far? No incidents in any part of the country yet.
Welcome. Thank you. Welcome to Ghana. Welcome to Ghana. Thank you.
She's attending to somebody. She's attending Okay, so please, what notable difference have you noticed between the Ghanaian elections and Nigeria's elections?
No, I will not compare the Ghanaian election and the Nigerian election. That's not the right thing to do.
Since you've noticed,
And I must praise Ghanaians for their for consolidating democracy, not just in West Africa but in Africa. And the country is doing well. Yes, there are rooms for improvement because the other elections there were issues. I believe at this end of this election there will be no issues, and that everybody will be happy with their outcome. But I would commend Ghanaians. The electoral standard is fairly high, and I don't like to compare to African countries. It's not the best thing to do. Thank you.
thank you very much, sir.
And I must praise Ghanaians for their for consolidating democracy, not just in West Africa but in Africa. And the country is doing well. Yes, there are rooms for improvement because the other elections there were issues. I believe at this end of this election there will be no issues, and that everybody will be happy with their outcome. But I would commend Ghanaians. The electoral standard is fairly high, and I don't like to compare to African countries. It's not the best thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, this car just came to Ketu South with some electoral materials, and the car, they brought some people in, and they don't want to come out from the car. But the intelligence of the Ketu South youth, they're able to impound the car, and some police officials are also here. Reporting live from Ketu South, the police station side. Thank you.
Yeah.
You voted.
I voted.
How was it?
Fine. The process was excellent. Very smooth, very simple.
Comparatively to the number of elections you voted in, how do you see this very one?
This one's very efficient. Very, very efficient.
People are cheering to you.
I'm happy about that.
So much has been done.
Yeah, but I think apart from it, today, the reports that are coming in from across the country suggest that this election is going very well and that it is being done peacefully. Ghanaians are showing their commitment to democratic outcomes, and we all have to be thankful to God for that. What I want to tell everybody is, those of you who have yet to vote, please go out and vote. Each vote counts. Your voice matters. And we want to have a situation whereby, at the end of the day, the majority of Ghanaians are satisfied with the outcome.
Sonne video. Sonne
Let me tell you something. We are going to pay the consequences. I'm being honest. Get back. You are going anywhere. You are not going to the police station. You are not going to the police station. You are not going to the police station. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Whatever you want. Hey, move video. Move video. Hey!
Yeah, there were skirmishes, like a few of them reported. However, they did not impact the overall process of their election. They didn't turn off the server where results are supposed to be collated. They did not announce the fake results from where Party A won Party B. As much as there were kind of like, fights among some people in some areas, like I said, that didn't really impact on the overall process of the electioneering. Now, Ghana has been practicing democracy since 1992. They have been having elections like back to back every 4 years since 1992. And it is considered that the Ghanaian democracy is kind of more matured. It's not perfect, but it is matured than what you have, a charade that you have in that contraption called Nigeria. So before the final result was announced, the NPP candidate, the vice president, was already on TV. Said from the results they have themselves, there's no chance. I mean, the NDC guys, the Mahama's group, they've already won over 200 constituents. They've won over 200 seats out of about 300 seats in the parliament. So there's no chance. So he was on screen to give his concession speech in parts.
Ghanaians at home and abroad have been sitting on tenterhooks awaiting the outcome of the election. Let me say that the data from our own internal collation of the election results indicate that former President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has won the presidential election decisively. The NDC has also won the parliamentary election, even though we await final collation for a number of seats. However, I believe ultimately that these will not change the overall outcome. See John Dramani Mahama to congratulate him as President-elect of the Republic of Ghana. I said during the signing of the Peace Pact that I was sure of two things. Ghana will win and peace will reign.
And that's exactly what happened. The ruling party conceded. Now it is the turn of John Dramani Mahama to prove to Ghanaians that what they rejected 8 years ago was actually the path to greatness, which is believed that these NPP guys, Nana Akufo-Addo and his group, have truncated. And like I've read in the group where Ghanaians have been debating or discussing these elections for weeks now. And then from today, when the announcement was finally made, right, to them, the Nana Akufo-Addo's government and his group, they have taken Ghana backward. It's like they have taken Ghana 50 years backward. Yes. It is like the same thing that happened to Nigeria under Buhari, where they told you then that corruption, somebody was coming to fight corruption or stop corruption, only for them to be swimming in it. They were coming to set your country straight on the pathway to greatness. But it's ended up as a pathway to ruinous, that you've been ruined. Nigeria Naira got destroyed. Nigeria economy got destroyed. Nigerian human rights are tanked, and corruption became the order of the day. So people destroying people, right, nourished and flourished corruption, impunity, right? When they had the chance of implementing what then we believe should have been electoral reform that could clean out or clean up the mess in the electoral process in Nigeria, they just they were swimming in that impunity. So when APC, Egbekegbe came, they came to legalize all the madness. They legalized the election rigging, they legalized their corruption, they legalized the abuse of power, they legalized even terrorism. Unfortunately for Nigeria, you were unable to send them packing. So after taking you 50 years backward, Tinubu has come to take you maybe 100 years further backward by the time he is done. And the man that made that happen was an observer in Ghana, Olori Buruku Yakubu.
What's your reaction to the Ghana election?
Well, it has been a very interesting election.